Hey, everybody, welcome to the MURCA Guns and Freedom podcast with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. As always, this is just an open chat where we can discuss whatever you want to talk about. Doesn't have to be gun related. We lean towards guns, but it can also be cars, motorcycles, wrestling, cryptids. You know, we have a lot of interest here. So any manly man topic we can talk about over here. Just talk about what you want to talk about. Ask what you want to ask. And more importantly, if you got anything you disagree with me on, you think I've said something wrong, call me out. We can even do a Spank the Yank video if you want to. Let me know you disagree with something I said. How do I know I was wrong if you don't correct me? So feel free to do so. As always, I want to read tonight's members who have bought merchandise. Oh, wait, I don't think I need to do that because I don't think we had any sales today. I usually start reading people who bought merchandise to support the pets and vets, or excuse me, TY and Triple P. We didn't get any sales today. I do have some good news over there, though. If you were one of the two people that bought the cotton shirt, which I'll show right here, not made out of cotton. It's got cotton on it. It's this design right here. If you're one of the two people that bought this on a t-shirt and it got canceled by the print provider because it is a copyright violation, I was able to get them printed at another printer. So yours have already shipped. And if anybody wants it, in this country, we used to shoot Nazis shirt. If you want that shirt, I suggest you get it soon, because once one printer reports it, it doesn't take much longer for it to go away. So if you want it, you better order it now. And like I said, I only make $7 off each one. So I'm not hard selling you to hard sell you. I'm just going to tell you, it's going to go away. And I'll sell 2 or 3 more, probably at most. But I don't humble myself for that much. I just want people who want it to be able to get it, because that's the design. It's over there still. You can get it now. I had to put it up as a new product, though, because I had to delete the old one because it got reported and got canceled. So I had to redo it through a new printer. So if you want it, go get it, because I can't guarantee you'll get it. If you don't get it, you'll get a refund, but still. It went back to full screen today, at least. All right. Don't have any orders to read. Don't have to read any new Subscribe Star members. And there's no new Patreon members today, but I didn't welcome all the new people from yesterday. So we got James McAllister, Josh Kaskin, and Sean F. joined. We also got Andrew Howard upgraded his membership. And I think I read all these other ones. Michael Rogina, AIDS, Derek Thompson, We're Out of Time, Buddy Shepard, Stephen Sharp, Jeff Lloyd. Those people all also upgraded their memberships. I don't know did I say Leakin Stern joined? Because he did. And Oliver Stevenson joined. So I want to say welcome to them. With that being said, we can get over to the questions, see if there's any topics coming in for us to discuss today. As always, we start with super chats, because that goes to fund the Pets and Vets program. So we do our super chats on PayPal, then we go to the super chats through YouTube, and then we do emails, and then we do the live chat over here. I'm only one man. I can only do so much at a time, so be patient. Doesn't look like there's much coming in today, so. Where are we? Today is the 1st. So John Heasley weighed in and said, I sent you an email subject Otis. One of these is going to be the winner. I saw. I got it up over here just for when we get ready to share emails. Dale Rickety chimed in. Well, he's always got hard-hitting questions for us. And he said, to be or not to be, that is stupid. It is kind of stupid. I would say be, because what to not be is what did. At your age, you make that decision every morning, I think. I see you didn't engrave the Zombie Slayer. Well, you don't know what I did today. You don't know. I don't have to take it off the wall to engrave the plate. The plate's in there on my table. So you don't know. You don't know. You think you know. John Heasley thinks he knows. You don't know. It looks like John Heasley, if this keeps going, is going to win the fucking thing, and we can't let that happen. So remember you out there in YouTube world, you can't, if you're not able to come to the live chats, you can't do super chats and get entries into the double super secret rock giveaway, but super thanks also count. So if you do a $5 one, you get entered into the monthly silver bullet giveaway. If you do a $10 one, you get 2 entries into that and 1 into the double super secret rock giveaway. The money goes to the Pets and Vets Fund to help pets and vets charities, help an animal in need, and to prevent the Heasley monster from winning another freaking gun. He's already got 2. That bastard has 2 guns I paid for. Who was that? I just chimed in. Mark Lax. Did I read what he said? I don't know if I read what he said. I opened his thing. Why can't you use the super chats for the first video so you can get the majority of money for P&V? However, all hell fell, so he will stop destroying my car. What do you mean? Why can't you use the super chats for the first video so you can get the majority? Oh, well, I use whatever they give me, but he's talking about when we do shooting the shit with Yankee, but we have to go through the YouTube super chats, and I'm on their unfavorable channels list. So I get most of my if 20 people like just yesterday, 20 people did donations through YouTube, I made $6.99. Those 20 people together donated about $50. I got $6.99. So I do use that towards Pets and Vets. It doesn't come anywhere close to covering Pets and Vets. And it's actually the most I make on YouTube because I don't get advertising money. I get YouTube Red, which is usually like $1 a day or whatever they call it now, premium or whatever. Then I get a little bit of super chats. And sometimes I get memberships. If I get a new member on a day or it's a day they recycle the memberships. Some days I'll look over there and be like, I made $60 today. What the fuck happened? And it's all the memberships, the channel members, all because there's like 80 of them, and it's $5 a month. So a bunch of them recycle on a certain day, and it'll look like I made a bunch of money. But it's already factored in. So yeah, the YouTube super chats are used pretty worthless. That's why I get upset when I see people do $5, $10 super chats over here, because I know at most I'm going to get $2.50, $5 if it's a $10 chat. Generally, though, half the time I'll get nothing. Half the time I'll get half of what you donated. The other half of the time I get nothing, because YouTube takes 50% anyway. They say they take 30, but they take 20% out in fees, and then they take 30% as their commission off of the gross. So you lose 50% right off the bat. And that's if they let you keep it. Since I complain about the shit they've been doing to my channel, they take more and more of it. And they do more and more of the stuff. I haven't made a new sub in weeks. Every time I get any subs, they take them away. They take them away. Get subs, they take them away. They usually only readjust sub counts like every so many months, but on my channel, they do it every day. Let's see here. And it's like watching the videos. I've gotten to where now I'm paranoid, so I watch my videos when they first go live, and it goes 5 viewers, 10 viewers, 4 viewers, 20 viewers, 30 viewers, 12 viewers, 40 viewers, 50 viewers, 30 viewers. So it keeps getting views, and they cut off, but they take a bunch of them away. I'm like, how are you taking away views? It doesn't count till they watch it for a certain amount of seconds, and then they get counted as a view. That doesn't disappear. So where did all these views keep disappearing to? Especially when you see that start happening and your normal view count goes from here to here, and then you notice they're taking your views off as your videos are running. And it wasn't a gradual decline like, oh, I just pissed off enough people gradually that it went down. No, it's like, whatever you complain to YouTube about something. All right, that's enough bitching about YouTube. Let's get back to the questions if there are any. Who was that? That was Mark Lax. Emmanuel Fernandez also paid his $2 tithe to Phil and said, what is the name of the Gregorian chant music at the end for Phil? Oh, I have no idea. I don't know what that is. I think it's some royalty-free music I found over on one of the royalty-free MP3 channels. I have no idea what it actually is. All right. Daniel Mann chimed in over here. Got me a PSA Dagger micro frame today. Sniper green. I think I like it better than the 43X frame already. Sent a picture to the email. All right. With that, I'm going to start doing the emails because we're already out of super chats. Let's see. We got an email coming in here from John Heasley. The evil Heasley. And he said, oh, let me close this so we don't block the, there we go. Otis is the Great Dane. Moose is the pit bull. So I guess that's Moose. And that's Otis. Oh, do that face. At least I feel sorry for him to have to live with John Heasley. He's so evil. But sometimes evil people are good to pets. So that's good at least. Hitler liked dogs. Let's see here. Now we got this one here from Shadow. When new revolvers are imported, the barrel has to be 4 inches or longer. So they are imported like this, then rimmed down. Rimmed. Forgotten Weapons has a video about it. There are a few other videos, but it also, would you want a revolver that hasn't had the barrel trimmed? Well, I don't know what I'd use it for, but I knew that already. That's why I said when they were making the, isn't it 3 inches? I didn't think it was 4 inches. I thought it was 3 inches. Because the Chiappa Rhinos, when they came in, the 2-inch models, they came in with a 3-inch barrel. And then they cut them down to a 2-inch barrel. So I thought it was 3 inches they had to come in from. Maybe it's different for different countries, but I thought it was 3 inches. But yeah, they all come in with a longer barrel. Then they cut them down. They just have extra barrels sticking out the front of the barrel cover. Then they cut it down and then screw it back in. So yeah, it's just the way it has to be, I guess. But yeah, I guess maybe if I have someone who's going to thread it and put something there, but if just me, I'm not going to do nothing with it. Got another email here. This is the one from Daniel Mann. Got a micro dagger frame in Sniper Green. Stole the slide off my wife's 43X for now. We'll probably get a gray 4-inch slide from PSA for it. The gray would look good with it. The black looks fine with it too, though. I think the frames from PSA are better than the Glock frames. I mean, when I compare them to the Glock frame, they come out favorably. I've had 2 of them now. Every one of them's better than any of my Glock frames. So I don't see where people get the whole PSA's garbage. Their frames are better than the Glock frame. So, and they seem to function just as well too. Now, when I compared them to the FN57, when I compared the Rock, the FN57 was a little nicer, but it's a lot more expensive too, way more expensive. All right. Is that all of the emails? Hold on. Oh, nope, there's one more. This one came from Peter D, my co-pilot Carlita. I love cows. You mean like to eat or you're friends with them? Or that kitty or that cow. I like cows too. Cows are very sweet. I used to ride a cow a lot when I was a kid. When I was too young to ride a horse, really, my grandfather would put a saddle on this cow we had, Daisy, and I'd ride her around. We also had another cow that I really was fond of, but unfortunately he was a boy. So that, you know what that means. He eventually went to slaughter. Because they don't give milk, so they give meat. The bulls. All right. I think that was it for our super chats. Let me make sure we're still caught up over here. Nope. John and Mandrick chimed in here and said, is Tally still closed? I cannot find a Chiappa Rhino, or Italy. Is Italy still closed? I cannot find a Chiappa Rhino anywhere. I don't think so, because I know Smith and Sporting System's been getting them. They got some in their case. So I know they've been getting them, but I haven't heard anything personally from Italy. And I've also noticed that all the Chiappa 1892 lever action mare's legs, no distributor has them. So they might still be closed in Italy. I told you, I think they all died during COVID. I don't think a single Italian person made it through. I think the only thing that's getting done over there now is some industrial Germans are going over and getting some stuff done, but I'm not sure any Italians actually survived. I might be wrong, but I'm not sure. Not positive. All right, let's see here. Make sure we're caught up. Yep, Johnny Mandrick was the last one. There's none over here, so let's get to the regular questions. The Gamers Nexus had no ads toggled. YouTube loaded all their videos with ads. Then they have to manually go through each video to remove the mid-roll ads. What? The Gamers Nexus had no ads toggled. YouTube can put ads on anything they want, and they don't got to pay you for them. That's their rule. Which, what kind of contract do you ever enter in with someone that says, hey, if you do this, we'll pay you. And if you decide you don't want us to pay you, we're going to make you do it for free. That's the kind of deal I give my kids mowing the lawn and stuff like that. I'll say, when they were little, I'd say, hey, Zyler, go out and mow the lawn. I'll give you $20. Or would you mow the lawn for $20? And they say, no, thanks. And I go, okay, well, then go mow the lawn for free and you don't get the $20. That's basically what YouTube does to all of us. You're demonetized because your content is not acceptable. And then they run ads on your videos that you don't get paid for. And you do have to go in and undo things like you just said. So that makes sense. Let's see here. Where were we at? There is nothing they can do to make me give them. Oh, they're talking about NRA. That was the topic in our first chat today. Has the question been asked why it's only the SIG P320 that had problems, but not the Wilson Combat 320s? Seems like they solved the problem. There's no problem. The cops don't carry Wilson Combats. Same reason 365s don't have a problem, because cops don't carry 365s. That right there, you can easily define the common issue there. It's that cops carry those. If there was a department, if a police department started issuing the Wilson Combat frames, well, then you'd start seeing problems with those guns too. Not a lot of questions today. I actually paid for them both over the years for the donations I do. That's not how it works. You're not paying for that stuff. You're paying to help save the lives of animals and help veterans charities and help provide guns to people that can't afford it, like families in need through TYMP. That's what the money's doing. You don't join to win. The win is just a side benefit sometimes for some people, but you're hogging it all. Where we go? I spent almost $2,000 today buying replacement sliding glass door, window, and other stuff for my dad's old room. Ugh. You know what else you could have done with that money? A lot of stuff. You could have given it to me. I could have bought that nice coat I want. Would have paid for a big chunk of it. Ghostface Chili for him to see or donate through PayPal. Where's Ghostface Chili? I don't see there. I don't see his question. I'm on live chat. Why do I not see his question? Thor. I don't see a question from anybody named Thor either. Is my chat not working? What's going on here? Let me refresh it. Usually I can go right up and find the questions after someone tells them what to do. Yankee, I do believe that gun control would decrease mass shootings a small amount, not overall reduction of mass shootings, but it would make a slight dent in it. I agree with MHS. I don't agree at all. I don't think gun control. In fact, we've seen that it doesn't. Even when they did the assault weapons ban, you didn't see any reduction in crime beyond the normal reduction you were seeing the decade before and after. So it had absolutely no effect on things like mass shootings, etc. We've seen that. We don't have to guess. Was it stupid of the Biden administration to give so many billions to Tesla so the liberals could buy electric cars to save the planet from weather monster? I don't think it's stupid to supplement things that, that get you off of reliance on Saudi Arabia, etc. And not everybody used it on Tesla. In fact, towards the end there, Teslas, I don't think even qualified because of, wasn't enough parts made in the U.S. or something like that. But I remember when we got ours for our Ford, the Tesla wasn't. We had a Tesla already. When they did the incentive for the Ford, you couldn't get a Tesla and get the payout. So I think that's one of the reasons he turned against it, because the money wasn't going to him anymore. So no, I don't think it's ever stupid to give incentives for things. Of course, you end up getting taxed like crazy on them, like road taxes and stuff. But like our tags, to get our tag for the car is like $350. The other cars is $40. And you don't pay gas tax. Well, that was the whole point, wasn't it? That we're not using gas. So in Minnesota, a 350-pound teacher was arrested for using a 6th grade student as a stepping stool during a lockdown drill. What part of lockdown involves stepping on people? I don't know. Why would you use someone as a step stool? What do you think about the ATF using facial recognition technology to identify gun owners? I'm going to wear my COVID mask in public. I don't like when the government uses that to identify anybody. I don't like big gun, big brother watching me all the time. There's a viral video of a political protest in Turkey where a man in a Pikachu costume is running from the cops. It's very funny. I've seen it. I didn't join to win, just a great benefit of the money. Well, then stop winning. Does Sporting Systems sell Volk Worston brand rifles? I don't know. Probably too expensive for me. I don't even know what that name brand is. Used to enter $100 raffle for a kid's baseball team, and they did one rifle and one pistol a month for the year. I give away way more than that. We give away at least 5 guns every month. I've been doing it for years. That's why when some channels make it a big deal, like, we're actually giving a gun away. Well, I do that at least 5 times a month. Well, not always 5 times a month. Sometimes 4, because sometimes if I give away, I give away the TYMP guns, but then the person who wins the friend gun doesn't want a gun. They want a gift certificate, something else. So on those months, I don't always give away at least 5 guns. But then there's some months where I give away 6. Like last month, we gave away 7. Well, we gave 6 because we did 6 TYMP guns. And then I gave the winner of the friend gun, they got a gift certificate to some freaking Canadian sporting goods camping store, which when it showed up on my card, I was like, what the fuck is that? I went through probably 2 hours of trying to figure out what it was, looking it up on the internet, calling my bank, calling my credit card, blah, blah, blah. And then realized, oh, it's that fucking Canadian sporting goods camping company, whatever it is up there. Because it didn't come through as the same name on the charge. Where was I at? Oh, Jonathan Ho paid his $2 tithe to Phil, so he keeps his nose out of their business. Didn't say nothing, of course. And those of you in here that ain't paid your tithe to Phil, go pay your freaking $2 tithe to Phil. You cheap bastards. He sees you. He's going to get you. Ask some of the people in here he's got. He's gotten a lot of them. When bad things happen, that's Phil. If you ain't paid your taxes. If you paid them, well, it could have been worse. Phil protected you from it being worse. Like if your car, if someone breaks into your car and you didn't pay your Phil tithe, well, that's Phil punishing you for not paying your tithe. If someone breaks into your car and you did pay your Phil tithe, well, that person was going to mug you and kill you and steal your car, but Phil prevented it, and it just ended up being a burglary instead. That's how it works. Don't question how he works. He works in mysterious ways. John Heasley chimed in again and said, just to try to win, you're pissing me off. Not that I get the money, because the Pets and Vets desperately needs the money. We might actually end up covering our shortage this month, so I might not have to cover anything this month, because we've gotten there's probably 30 entries over here. That's $300. There's probably more than that, actually. It's probably more like 40 entries. And we had like a $600 shortfall last month, and this month's going to be a little bigger, even though I did the big fundraiser for PayPal, or Patreon. The membership drive for Patreon didn't work. We started the month with 726 Patreon supporters, and at the end of the big month-long bullet giveaway membership drive for Patreon, we're at 716, I think. So we started at 727. Now we're at 716. So we lost 11 during our big drive. So I am bad at this. I don't know what to do. I've tried pretty much everything I can think of. I don't know what to do. I could start lying to people, telling them what they want to hear, blowing smoke up their ass, but I don't want to do that. April fill time. Don't need no trouble. Well, good. He paid his $2 tithe for the month if he comes to the show every day. Otherwise, he might have bonus left over. Because remember, it's only if you come to the show or watch my videos. If you don't watch a video or watch my live chat that day, well, then you don't owe a tithe that day. You just owe your tithe on the days you partake of the entertainment. Because like I said, this is top-notch entertainment. It's worth $2. As I always say, I think most of you know what I say. The only place you can get entertainment like this is if you hang outside the public library and watch homeless people yell at strangers. That's about the only time you can get similar entertainment. So pay your $2 tithe to fill. There's 125 of you in here right now. And what? How many of you paid your tithe to fill? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of you. 8 of you have paid your tithe to fill. He sees that. Like I said, he'll do bad things to you. Now, if he does them to me, he's testing me because I'm his voice on earth. So when he shoved my car into a tree for no fucking reason, that was a test. If he does that to you, it's punishment. It's kind of like when lightning strikes a nightclub, they say, Jesus is punishing the sinners. But when lightning strikes a church, it's like he's testing our faith. Same thing with Phil. He operates in the same manner. All right, where were we at? I've lost my place. But that was Jeff Patterson paying his monthly tithe to Phil. And I just hit the wrong button and recycled my page. Now I got to wait till it to load back up before I can go on with the conversation. Kevin Mabry chimed in and said, what type of dog treats do you give your pets? I've been avoiding rawhide. Name. And by the way, if you don't know, Django's been coming back to the chats lately. He's been here. So if you've heard like heavy sighing or some farting, that's Django. That's not me. But as I was saying, they'll eat pig's ears. We sometimes get those from the tractor supply place. But what we give them mostly is these treats called nubs. They're chicken. They're bones made out of this compressed chicken stuff. Probably beaks and and claws and feathers. But and it's the only thing Turnip wants. If you give him something different, he is sad. Like if he eats his bowl of food, he gets a treat, because you have to reward Turnip for eating dinner because he's not a big eater. He'll go out in the yard and eat a bunny. You started to have a robot voice. Do I have a robot voice? Is the internet fucking up on me? It's that fucking what do you call it? I got that Elon Musk Starlink started off good. Started started off real good. It worked well. We got high downloads, everything, good uploads. Now we don't get shit, and it goes out all the fucking time. Watching something, I can't get through a movie without having to sit and get reacquiring satellites, talking to satellites, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, it started off great. Now it's garbage. I've noticed a lot of the video quality dropping in my videos quite often, like goes down and up. But what's that? Oh, nubs. He likes the nubs. We get them at Costco. And if he ate his dinner, instead of eating bunnies outside, he'll eat his dinner, so he'll get a nub. He'll still eat bunnies, though. If I give him something else, like say if I didn't have a nub and I gave him a rawhide, or not a rawhide, I won't do rawhides. They're not good for him. Gave him pig's ear, he'll look at it, look at me, look at it, look at me, look at it, look at me. And then I'll like, take it, that's all got. He'll take it and he'll reluctantly eat it. But he wants a nub. If I tried to offer him a pork chop, he'd rather have a nub. So he loves those nubs. Now they're not cheap though, but they're good. They both love the nubs. Django gets a half of one. Turnip gets a whole one whenever Turnip eats his food, eats his dinner. But that's what they like. Jacoby said today he used his 35-month WAP chat, which means he's been in my WAP for 35 months. He's got to be all wrinkly. Today was the first time I used a 22 caliber case to notch a hole in my belt. Hammer and a hard surface, and you're golden to gain weight. Yeah, I just get those retractable belts. That way I don't got to worry about it. I don't got to punch holes. I don't know where I'm at. I've lost my place. I saw there is a recall on all Cybertrucks now because the side panel wasn't glued on well enough and can fly off while driving. That's what I want my car glued together. Thor's question was your thoughts on Ferguson. I think everybody knows what I think about Ferguson, that weaselly, sweaty-handed little piece of shit. I don't like him. I don't trust him. Every time I've ever met the man, or I sat next to him at a one of the meetings once for a hearing for one of the bills up in Washington, and it took every bit of strength I had not to punch him. He's a very punchable person. Even if you're not a violent person, which I sometimes am, which is why I got to build up some good karma, because I used to be a fairly violent person. He's very punchable. I don't care if you were like you're a first grade teacher for 30 years, you taught Sunday school for 20 years, you're the sweetest person in the world, everyone loves you. You go to the homeless shelter and bake pies every Saturday. If you met Bob Ferguson and he shook your hand, you'd have the urge to punch him in the face. I'm serious. He's just a very punchable person. He comes across as very slimy and disingenuous. I'm not going to stop trying to win. Piss me off. A lot of dense people don't seem to understand that a criminal who's determined to shoot someone is more than willing to use an illegally obtained gun or build a bomb, or, those people that took out the people at the marathon, they didn't use guns, and they did pretty good. And they were just a couple of kids that know what they were doing. And if they knew what they were doing. Hell, I could probably done a better job because we used to build bombs to take out tree stumps and stuff in the cow field. So I probably knew what I was doing. I don't want to hurt nobody, though. Luckily, I don't want to hurt nobody. Most of the time, people who know what they're doing don't want to hurt nobody. And luckily, a lot of times, people who want to hurt people don't know what they're doing. A ninja sword is a more disposable weapon than a samurai's katana is. Ninja swords are typically made of crude, cheap metal, while katanas are forged from high-quality steel. I don't know a lot of ninjas, so I haven't really asked them. Are you a ninja? Because if you're not a ninja, why should I take your word for it? You know how they always on the internet when people are like, you don't know, what do you know? Just doing my best to stop the Heasley monster, said Joe Pear's son. I got to put him on here. He got a couple more. He's gotten some up on the list up here before. He's got a few. I think the person who got the single most at a time was Joe Pear's son. And today, not Joe Pear's son, Martin Nuago. And today it's going to be who got the most interest today? Jeff Patterson got the most interest today. Why do anti-Muskers think it's anti-fascist to burn private property over politics and scrawl swastikas onto the liberals' electric cars, red pilling the shit out of them in the process? Well, I can tell you one thing. That's vandalism, not fascism. People who don't hold power can't engage in fascism. Fascism is only when you have power and you use that power to control others. The peasants don't have power. So if the peasants charge the gates and burn the castle to the ground, that's not fascism. It could be vandalism, but it's not fascism. It's just kind of like how satire is when you're laughing at people in power, people who should be able to take it. If you're laughing at homeless people, which like that little fucker that was the comedian that night at the show we went to where my gun got taken and I ruined his show and got him uninvited and all this other stuff. That's what his every joke was laughing at people who do not have power. Homeless people, trans people, minorities, Special Olympics, it's just like, does this guy ever not punch down? And I was just like, that's not funny. It's not satirical. You're not making fun. You're not speaking truth to power. You're just abusing people that are already powerless or marginalized. So it's just like how you can't do that. You also, people with no power can't engage in fascism. They don't have the tools. It's different. It might not be a good thing, but it's not fascism. Every time I see comments from news stories involving Trump, I see leftist or left-leaning say, why is nobody using the second? Are they being snarky or is it legitimate? Well, I would assume hopefully they're being snarky because they're like, well, most people on the left don't like guns, right? Well, why would anyone on the right be wanting to? Well, I can understand why some people would, but they're not usually the type that would do that. They're too busy working. Like I said, the government's spent a lot of time making sure people don't have a lot of extra time and can't afford to do a lot of extra stuff. They got to keep your one paycheck away from the poorhouse so that they can maintain control. So who has time? That's why it's always someone you see that they were laid off from their job 6 weeks ago. Well, that's why they did, because they had time. Most of us don't have time for that. I enjoy your content daily, but then I recently hit my head. I've had a lot of head injuries. I've had at least 8 concussions in my life. I know. Because you got to remember, I rode BMX and motocross when I was a kid, because pretty much everybody where I lived did. I also played goalie at hockey for 1 season. And the only reason I played goalie is because I wasn't a good skater. So goalie it is, when you're not a good skater. So I took a few pucks to the head. Also, I've ridden motorcycles and everything else. And I got a skull fracture once, ran all the way from my eye right here to the center of my forehead. So that tells you my brain ain't been treated good. I was actually a high intelligence person. I was a recipient of the Governor's Award in high school. I tested regularly at an IQ well over 150. I don't know now if I would even hit triple digits. My brain's mush. You started to have a robot voice. We missed the question, but got the answer. I don't know what question you missed. For 10 seconds, you're good now. Okay. The roboting only lasted a few seconds. Over 40 Starlink satellites died from a solar flare, but don't they have like redundancy? That shouldn't affect nothing. Many of the people who have been caught vandalizing Teslas have totally ruined their lives. They will have criminal records. Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt they've really ruined their lives. Most people who bum rush stores and steal hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of merchandise are on the street the next day. So I doubt they've ruined their lives. Seems like nowadays they'll go into court, plea down to something that never bothers anybody on a job resume, and go about their business, because we don't want to put people in jail anymore. It's not profitable. Only people you want to put in jail are people who might change things, who are dissidents, who might upset the status quo. Criminals stealing products don't upset the status quo, so they keep governments in power, so they don't put them in jail. It looks like brown shirt behavior for citizens to do it to other citizens over politics. It's me. It just looks like a protest, which I'm fine with protest. I support anybody's right to protest. I even support civil disobedience. But when you burn a Tesla or vandalize a Tesla that someone else has already bought, you're not sending a message to Elon Musk. You're not hurting his bottom line. In fact, you're probably helping it, especially if they have to go get new parts and have it fixed, because they got to pay for that. So you're not. So that's just stupid, is all that is, because you're not. It's like we owned a Tesla. If someone vandalized my Tesla, would it have been sending a message to Elon Musk, or would it have just hurt us? It would just hurt us. So we don't own it anymore, but that's just very misplaced. It doesn't make sense. It's like, are these people just stupid? Or I think they're just stupid. Because, and plus, who owns more Teslas, liberals or conservatives? Conservatives don't fucking own Teslas. That's why Trump did that pathetic sales pitch on the lawn of the White House to tell conservatives to go buy Teslas. And you know how many of them bought Teslas? None. Didn't help their sales at all, because conservatives don't buy Teslas. They don't want a $120,000 Cybertruck that they have to plug in and charge every day. We're way out of time. Why didn't people tell me we were out of time? I'm sitting here babbling. We're out of time. I'm bitching about people vandalizing Teslas because they're stupid. They are. They're very stupid. Joe Pearson chimed in again here and said, I think I read that. Stop doing his best to stop the Heasley monster. I read that one. But then John Heasley chimed in again and said, for the winning number. We still got 2 weeks. We ran to the 15th, through the 15th. So we're halfway through this. And so far, we're just about, I'd say we're almost broke even. So if we make any more money, hopefully we'll make a profit off this for the first time ever. Yay. If we can make this much again, we'll cover all the shortage for pets and vets this month. Because we're only halfway through. If we can make as much again as we've made now, which we don't usually do. Fundraisers usually do well their first week, and then they do nothing, and then they do okay again in the last couple of days. That's how fundraisers usually work, except for my fundraisers. The ones that benefit my channel, they do nothing for 3 weeks and then do a little spittling at the end and then do nothing in the last day usually. I'm just not good at it. It's not my forte. Keep asking you all people for advice on what we should do and what would work, and I don't ever get any help. But we're out of time. So thanks everybody for coming. Thanks everybody for chatting. I've been saying a lot tonight. I got to stop doing that. I need to be more professional, don't I? You got to quit saying, but like I said, did I tell you I've had a lot of head injuries? I think that might be part of it. But thanks everybody for coming. Thanks for everybody who donated to the Pets and Vets Fund. Thanks to everybody who's bought merchandise. If you did buy them, I don't think we sold merchandise today. But if you might have bought some this week, go get yourself the Donald Duck shirt. I should do a Donald Duck Trump. It's the Global Behavioral Education Division of Disney that says, say it, men can have babies. He's forcing that opinion upon you, at gunpoint, because he works for the Disney Global Behavioral Education Division. So it's satire. See, we're poking fun at Disney. They got power. That's satire. So go buy that. No one buys this shirt. I don't think they get it because it's kind of subtle. The fact they think it's supporting the fact that men can have babies, like you're saying men can have babies. No, someone who's forcing you at gunpoint to say that because they're trying to control how the world thinks. People don't get it because I don't maybe think my audience is the type of audience to get it. But thanks everybody for coming, and thanks for everything you do for the channel. I appreciate it. I'll see y'all again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again.